The galaxy had known peace for 3,000 years. Not because the species within it desired harmony, but because one group controlled everything worth fighting over. The Volanthi Consortium held the mining rights to every Nexium deposit across 17 star systems. Nexium-powered starships. It fueled weapons. It kept life support running on space stations. Without Nexium, civilization would collapse within a generation. The Consortium understood this perfectly. They had spent millennia making sure no one else could access the precious mineral. Admiral Chen Wei stood on the bridge of the ISS Prometheus, watching the blue glow of hyperspace flow past the observation windows. Behind her vessel, 400 warships of the Terran Imperial fleet followed in perfect formation. Each ship carried crews who had trained their entire lives for this moment. Each vessel bristled with weapons that the Consortium had declared illegal centuries ago. The humans did not care about Consortium law. "Admiral, we will exit hyperspace in 7 minutes," reported Commander Jackson from the navigation station. His voice remained steady despite the tension that filled the bridge. Cheng Wei nodded slowly. She had studied the Consortium for 20 years. She knew their tactics. She understood their weaknesses. The alien merchants believed themselves untouchable because they controlled the fuel that made interstellar travel possible. They charged whatever prices they wished. They denied Nexium to species they disliked. They had watched entire civilizations wither and die because those civilizations could not pay the Consortium's fees. Humanity had nearly suffered the same fate. 50 years ago, the Consortium had discovered Earth. They had offered humanity a deal that seemed generous at first. The humans could purchase Nexium at standard rates. They could join the galactic community. They could expand beyond their single planet. The Terran government had accepted eagerly. They had not understood the trap they were walking into. The prices rose slowly at first, a small increase here, a modest fee there. Within a decade, humanity was spending 60% of its interstellar income on Nexium alone. The Consortium representatives smiled their thin smiles and explained that market conditions required adjustment. When human diplomats protested, those diplomats disappeared. When human merchants tried to find alternative fuel sources, their ships suffered mysterious accidents. The message was clear: obey the Consortium or face extinction. But humans had never been good at obedience. Deep within the mountains of Luna, scientists worked in secret laboratories. They studied Nexium samples that had been smuggled at tremendous cost. They analyzed the mineral structure. They searched for alternatives. For 30 years, they found nothing. The Consortium's monopoly seemed unbreakable. Then Dr. Sarah Okonkwo made a discovery that changed everything. She found that Nexium was not unique. Similar minerals existed throughout the galaxy. The Consortium had simply destroyed every deposit they could not control. They had rewritten history to hide the truth. They had assassinated anyone who came close to learning what Dr. Okonkwo now knew. There were 17 hidden deposits scattered across the Outer Rim territories. Each deposit contained enough fuel to power human civilization for 10,000 years. The Consortium had not bothered to guard these deposits. Why would they? No one knew they existed. No one except humanity now. Admiral Chen Wei had spent 5 years preparing the fleet that now followed her through hyperspace. She had trained crews in secret. She had built weapons that the Consortium believed impossible. She had coordinated with rebel groups across a dozen star systems. When the Prometheus exited hyperspace above the mining world of Valenth Prime, the Consortium would face something they had not encountered in 3 millennia: resistance. "Exiting hyperspace now," Commander Jackson announced. The blue glow vanished. Stars appeared in the observation windows. Below the fleet hung a massive planet covered in industrial complexes and mining equipment. Thousands of cargo ships floated in orbit, waiting to transport Nexium to markets across the galaxy. Defense platforms surrounded the planet like a shell of metal and weapons. The Consortium had not expected visitors. "This is Velenth Prime Control." A harsh voice crackled over the communication system. "Unidentified fleet, you have entered restricted space. State your business immediately or face destruction." Admiral Chun Wei stepped forward. Her face appeared on screens across every ship in the system, human and alien alike. "This is Admiral Chun Wei of the Terran Imperial Fleet. We are here to end your monopoly. Surrender your mining operations and withdraw from this system. Refuse, and we will take what we need by force." Silence followed her declaration. The Consortium had never received such a message. No species had dared challenge them in living memory. The alien merchants considered themselves masters of the galaxy. They had grown soft. They had forgotten what war looked like. They would remember soon. "Human vessel, your threats are meaningless," the Consortium controller replied. "Our defense platforms will destroy your primitive fleet within minutes. Leave now and we may show mercy." Chun Wei smiled coldly. "You mistake us for the frightened species you have bullied for centuries. We are humanity. We do not beg. We do not surrender. And we certainly do not retreat." She turned to her weapons officer. "Lieutenant, target the nearest defense platform. Fire when ready." The ISS Prometheus carried weapons that human engineers had designed specifically to fight the Consortium. Plasma lances that could cut through alien shields like paper. Missile systems that adapted to enemy countermeasures in real time. Electronic warfare suites that could disable entire fleets with a single pulse. The Consortium had banned these technologies because they knew how dangerous they could become. They had assumed no one would dare build them anyway. The plasma lance fired. A beam of superheated matter crossed the void between the Prometheus and the defense platform. The alien shields flickered for exactly 2 seconds before collapsing entirely. The platform exploded in a brilliant flash of light and debris. "All ships engage," Admiral Chun Wei ordered. 400 human warships opened fire simultaneously. The Consortium defense network had been designed to handle pirates and smugglers. It had never faced a concentrated military assault. Platform after platform fell to human weapons. Cargo ships scattered in panic. Merchant vessels tried desperately to escape to hyperspace. Many did not make it. The battle lasted 47 minutes. When the last defense platform stopped transmitting, Admiral Chun Wei ordered her Marines to begin landing operations. Thousands of soldiers descended to the planet's surface in armored dropships. They secured mining facilities. They captured Consortium officials. They freed the slave workers who had been forced to extract Nexium for alien masters. The workers came from dozens of species. They had been purchased or kidnapped from worlds across the galaxy. They had labored in terrible conditions because the Consortium viewed them as tools rather than people. When human soldiers opened their containment blocks, many of the workers wept with relief. "You are free now," the Marines told them. "The monopoly is broken. You can go home." News of the battle spread faster than anyone expected. Communication networks that the Consortium had controlled for centuries suddenly carried a different message. Humanity had challenged the masters of the galaxy. Humanity had won. Humanity was offering Nexium at fair prices to any species willing to trade honestly. The response was immediate. Across the galaxy, species that had suffered under Consortium exploitation began to resist. Mining worlds declared independence. Trade routes shut down as merchants refused to pay extortionate fees. The carefully constructed economic empire that the Consortium had built over 3,000 years started to crumble. The Consortium leadership gathered in their capital city to discuss the crisis. They had never imagined this scenario. They had believed their control was permanent. They had grown so confident in their power that they had stopped preparing for challenges. Now they faced a choice that seemed impossible: fight humanity and risk total destruction, or negotiate and accept reduced profits. The High Merchant Counselor addressed the assembled leadership. "These humans are dangerous. They do not respect tradition. They do not fear our economic power. They have weapons we cannot match and allies we cannot bribe. We must find a way to stop them before they destroy everything we have built. Another counselor spoke up. Perhaps we should offer them a partnership. Give them a share of the Nexium trade. Make them part of the consortium rather than enemies of it. They will never accept, the High Merchant replied. They want more than profit. They want justice. They want to punish us for what we did to their people. They want to end the system that made us powerful. He was correct. Admiral Shen Wei had made humanity's position clear during the initial battle. The Terran Empire would not negotiate with slavers. They would not compromise with tyrants. They would dismantle the consortium piece by piece until every species in the galaxy could access the resources they needed to survive. The war lasted 3 years. Human fleets struck consortium holdings across 17 star systems. They liberated mining worlds. They freed billions of enslaved workers. They captured or destroyed thousands of merchant vessels. They dismantled the economic infrastructure that had maintained alien dominance for millennia. Each victory brought new allies to the human cause. Each defeat weakened the consortium further. In the final battle, human forces surrounded the consortium home world. The alien merchants had gathered every remaining ship they possessed. They had armed civilians. They had activated ancient weapons that had not been used in centuries. They were prepared to fight to the last. Admiral Chen Wei offered them one final chance to surrender. Your empire is finished, she broadcast across every frequency. Your trade routes are gone. Your mining operations belong to the species you oppressed. You can die fighting for a system that no longer exists, or you can accept a new reality. Choose. The High Merchant Counselor transmitted his response personally. We built this galaxy. We made interstellar civilization possible. You have destroyed everything in the name of your primitive ideals. History will remember you as barbarians. Chen Wei smiled. History will remember us as the species that ended 3,000 years of tyranny. That is enough. The final battle was brief. Human weapons outmatched consortium defenses completely. Within hours, the alien leadership had surrendered. The empire that had controlled galactic commerce for 3 millennia ceased to exist. In the years that followed, humanity helped rebuild what the consortium had destroyed. They established fair trade agreements. They shared technology with developing species. They created an alliance based on cooperation rather than exploitation. The galaxy changed in ways that previous generations could never have imagined. Admiral Chen Wei retired to a small colony world where she could watch the stars in peace. Sometimes reporters visited to ask about her experiences. She always gave the same answer. We did what needed to be done. The consortium believed they could control everything because they controlled one resource. They forgot that resources mean nothing without people willing to fight for them. Humanity taught them that lesson. I hope the galaxy never forgets it. The monopoly was broken. The people were free. And humanity had proven once again that courage and determination could overcome any obstacle, no matter how powerful it seemed. The stars belonged to everyone now. That was the legacy the Imperial fleet had created. That was the future humanity had won through blood and sacrifice and unwavering resolve.